The Singaporean government has executed a 38-year-old Nigerian man for drug trafficking after he was caught with 2.6 kilograms of cannabis. In a statement, the Central Narcotics Bureau said that Chijioke Stephen Obioha had his death sentence carried out today at the Changi prison complex. Obioha, an industrial chemistry graduate from the University of Benin, had originally moved to Singapore in 2005, hoping to be a footballer. He was arrested in 2007 by drug officers who found 14 blocks of cannabis in the bag he was carrying and another 14 blocks in the flat he was renting. Under Singaporean law, anyone caught with more than 500 grams of cannabis can be sentenced to death. Obioha's execution followed a lengthy legal process. Now, some of the candidates of the Ondo state governorship elections also seem prepared for the polls as they intensify their campaigns. The All Progressives Congress candidates today met with Muslim leaders and the business community in the state. Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu offered assurances that every resident will be given equal opportunity, regardless of religion.
As the November the 26th governorship election in Ondo State draws closer, the All Progressives Congress goes the way of faith. The party's flag bearer is seeking the support of the Muslim community in Akure, the state capital. Akeredolu is received at the Ararami Mosque by the League of Imams and Alfans, led by the Grand Mufti of Muslims in Ondo. The spiritual leaders offer prayers for the APC's flag bearer. Armed with the blessing of the Muslim leaders, the governorship candidate arrives in Okigbo town to an enthusiastic welcome from party supporters. He borrows a leaf from the lyrics of the song. And as the day fades out after the sunset, Mr. Akeredolu arrives in Okigbo's twin town of Ileoluji, both of whom make up Okigbo-Ileoluji local government area. Darkness falls across the land as the APC campaign train returns to Akure to be hosted by the Ondo State business community under the aegis of the Sunshine Progressive Coalition. Technocrats, entrepreneurs and academics take up Mr. Akeredolu on his vision for the state.
We have been searching for somebody who can actually deliver, somebody who can ensure that the masses out there are part of his government, somebody who can ensure that we'll have good roads, we have water runnings, we have pupils back in schools, we have food on our table. So that is the reason why we all came out from our respective local government, the 18 local government we have in Ondo State, and said that we should support Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu.
It's the second attempt for Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu, a senior advocate of Nigeria, in his bid for the top office in Ondo State. And as the APC's flag bearer, he'll be hoping to be second time lucky at the November the 28th poll.
In the meantime, the candidate of the Alliance for Democracy, AD, in Ondo State gubernatorial elections, Olushola Oke, has vowed that if elected as governor, his administration will endeavor to ensure prudent management of the state's resources and will be transparent and accountable to the people. Mr. Oke stated this while addressing a large crowd of party members and loyalists at the headquarters of Akoko Southeast local government area of the state, while his campaign train visited the area.
Youth and other party supporters welcoming Olushola Oke to Akoko, one of the towns said to be the stronghold of the Alliance for Democracy in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. As usual, the AD candidate, along with his running mate Gani Dauda and his team, will first pay homage to the traditional ruler for his support. The candidate visited various communities in the local government with a message of better governance for the people.
Our mission is to bring back all the dead companies and those ones that are yet to be completed. In this regard, Onwai Glass will come back. In this regard, Ippon Ceramic will be revived. Nairobi will be revived. The cocoa industries in Eluju will be brought back. Otipipa will be revived. And we will endeavor to complete the ones that are not yet completed. Dr. Olusegun initiated the Upper 3D in Ikare. This one will be completed. That company has capacity to employ 1,200 workers. When this is done, it will considerably reduce unemployment in Ondo State.
He equally vows to bring back the principles of accountability and prudent management of the state's resources.
Our government will also intervene in the area of agriculture. We will give farmers seedlings, we will give them fertilizers, we will also make them to have access to single-digit loans so that agriculture can blossom.
As the election draws closer, the Alliance for Democracy is hopeful that its efforts to woo voters will be enough to beat the ruling party in Ondo State when the polls open on November the 26th.
Now, the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has reiterated that his several meetings with President Muhammadu Buhari has nothing to do with the $29.9 billion loan request from the presidency. The Senate President was speaking with journalists after his appearance at the first Chieftain Leadership Summit in Lagos. Dr. Saraki insists that some individuals are only politicizing genuine issues bedeviling the country rather than join hands with the government to work and build the nation.
Assembly and the executive must continue to work together. There are a lot of issues in the country that we're discussing. There's a medium-term economic framework, there's the budget coming about, there's the implementation of current budgets, there are confirmations of different appointments, there's the Niger Delta, I can keep on going on. My concern was that, we're just politicizing something that, and I felt that we should stop it, and this issues like this need seriousness and should be approached on the merit, and we should not try and pass. I think that was the message I wanted to come across. And I think at this time where we're talking about economic recession, let us focus on issues that will bring things back for improve the lives of Nigerians, improve their welfare, and don't let us use it as where people just want to score cheap political points at the expense of our Nigerian people.
The President of the Nigerian Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki. Alumni of the Chieftain Programme, a scholarship programme of the UK government, today converged in Lagos to deliberate on ways of bringing their knowledge to bear on Nigeria's developmental drive. At the first Chieftain Alumni Leadership Summit, discourse focused on public-private partnership, building of human capacity and solving the infrastructural deficit in the country. Our correspondent, Loretta Chogo, was at the event and now reports.
On that partnership, because I believe that in moving our country from where we are.
It's the congregation of Nigerians who have gained from the largesse of the UK government through the Chieftain Scholarship.
It's worth a round of applause.
A fully funded master's program in the UK.
Minority Whip of the Senate.
The time to showcase the knowledge acquired from the scholarship gives birth to the very first Chieftain Alumni Leadership Summit in Lagos.
Thanking you for the honor.
The president of the Chieftain Alumni Association, Mr. Thomas Odenwege, opens the summit.
Ladies and gentlemen,
just as the British High Commissioner, Paul Arkwright, steps up the podium for his speech, concentrating on the current negatives of the recession and the oil price slump on Nigeria.
We know that this task is difficult, but the UK-Nigeria relationship spreads widely, encompassing security, infrastructure, skills and capacity development, and enhancing trade relations that will help Nigeria recover, prosper, and realize that wonderful potential that we always hear so much about.
The chairman, CEO of Channels Media Group, is also an alumnus of Chieftain. He believes the role of the Chieftain alumni in bridging the gap of leadership in the country cannot be overemphasized.
We should be very careful to protect our character. We can have our heads above the clouds, but our feet must be firmly on the ground so that we do not alienate the people, as this has been one of the shortcomings of many leaders in different parts of the world.
For a broader discourse, a panel of professionals, which includes Nigeria's Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, is constituted to discuss Nigeria's potential for economic growth with focus on the business climate, potentials and challenges.
The cost of doing business, and a huge component in terms of cost is power. So if that infrastructure is there, if we can just address, the power issues, I really believe that, no other country will be able to actually compete with us.
Whether it's power, it is roads, other things, agric and all of that, that as far as income is concerned from the banks may not appear to be that important. But that's a very narrow definition of self-interest, if you like. What do you need to do to the banks to generate liabilities? You cannot take away TSA money and say, banks, lend long-term for roads. You're not going to get it. So these things require both parties to continuously work together and agree to what they want to achieve.
We organized a session, and we're trying to do it sectorially, where we had a public hearing on capital market. And we got all the players in capital market to come and tell us. We didn't count them we didn't bring them for us to tell them, because what do we know about capital market? For them to come and tell us what laws do they think that if we are men, if we pass, will make an impact on the capital market. If we can do this for the different sector, meaning the private sector driving it, if you leave it to us in the public sector, I promise you, we'll be coming back here and be discussing about the potentials of Nigeria.
Discussions from here highlights a renewed vigor for progress and speedy development through the public-private partnership. But a strong political will determine the manifestation. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.